so we got fan questions here.
Yep.
And let's start. So, Elisa, what's the worst strain of weed you have smoked?
The worst strain of weed I smoked. Yeah. I don't remember negative things.
Yeah.
No. I guess the worst weed. Goes way back to the early '60s. One time, there's no weed, and this grower, he says, I got a jar of leaves. The big leaves.
So the worst strain of weed is not actually even weed. It was leaves.
It was the leaves, and I rolled that up and smoked it, and I got a headache, but that's about it.
It's like your bit where you
I never even got sick.
Where you say, let's smoke this sock or something like that. Okay.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah. Okay, Antonio asks,
yeah.
I recently just got my medical marijuana card in Pennsylvania, and I was wondering what the weed was like back in the day compared to how it is now. You get this question a lot.
I did, and I the other day I got a question, about from one of the travelers that I was with, and she said, why is it California weed is the best in the world? I tried everybody else's weed, and it's so harsh. Mm-hmm. And so my answer is that California has been cultivating weed for many, many years, and so they've got the cultivation down, so that you are going to get a really nice, smooth high from it. Whereas the other ones, the harshness that you feel is the power of the THC.
It's so interesting that California is known throughout the world for some of the best weed, and that was the place you chose to live.
Well, think about it.
It's a coincidence.
Yeah, no, but think about it. The weed itself, or any produce, shows you the kind of climate that it comes from.
Right.
You see, and so California climate is beautiful. It's not too hot, not too cold.
Especially when it's indoor and you control the climate.
That's what I'm saying. And so this other weed, like Afghani hash and all that other stuff, that'll fuck you up.
Well, they just take the strains and then they perfect them, and they take the Afghan and the Kush and all that stuff, and they perfect it in Cali. Okay, Manuel. I wanted to ask, what's your best advice for going out and finding your stride and material for comedy? I found I wanted to start stand-up, but I'm not sure if I'm good enough or know what to do.
Okay, I got a new motto that I live by, right. And it's called "Judge Not."
Right.
Judge not. Now that goes so many areas, right. In the art world, in the music world, all that. If you start judging things, then you almost like set the bar. They always, the bar's too low, the bar's too high.
Right.
You don't want to do that, especially with comedy, because what comedy really is you're coming out, you're like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly.
Right.
You see, because now what you're doing, you're getting on the stage in front of people, and you're bearing your soul to these people,
right?
And that, so you lose all your defenses, you see, and that's what's hard to do. That's why, like, growing up, say in a big family, would give birth to a lot of comedians, because in order to be heard, you got an audience that you got to shut up with something that's meaningful, and so that's how you learn to do your act, or do an act.
And I think what I'm hearing from you is do something, write something, get up there and do it.
Yeah.
Don't judge it. Yeah. Don't overthink it.
Well, that's what I'm saying about judging.
Yeah, because don't just figure it out, or just pick something, right, and get up there. Because what a lot of people don't know, and what I've learned from you and watching you, is that even the best comics in the world bomb.
Yeah.
The most famous, well-paid comics have an off night or have material that doesn't go over well. And I think some young comics believe that they got to be perfect. And what they don't understand too is that the most famous guys that do stadiums go do small clubs and do new material, and they just put it out there, and then they work on it and they work on it and they work on it, and so and you gotta feel the bomb, you gotta feel the failure, you gotta feel, because that is.
It's the ropes. You know, they say learning the ropes.
Yeah.
You know, when wrestling, you use the ropes.
Right.
You see.
Right.
So you might be being loose, so you use the ropes. You hang on to the ropes, or you bounce off the ropes, and that's the same as comedy.
So, what's it like to bomb? Like what? Like, because me, do you feel like embarrassed? Do you feel like?
Oh no!
Oh
no,
shit!
No. With a comedian, see, you grow.
You grow, right?
You know what it's like? It's like rock climbing.
Right.
Okay. You're climbing up the rock,
Yeah.
and you can only get so far. Why?
Yeah.
Because you're afraid to go the other distance.
Right.
And all of a sudden, rock climbing, you get a little niche, a little tiny little thing, and you get a little finger in there. That's all you need.
Right.
That's all you need. Because what happens when you get that confidence, you can do anything, go anywhere. Because the only fear you have is yourself. Right. It's your own fear of
your own hang-ups.
Yeah, your own hang-ups. And so when you're rock climbing, if you miss it, you're going to die. Yeah. You see? And when you're on stage, so you try to get those areas where you're
and
trapped.
I think some of the most masterful comics are the ones you see and they're just fearless.
They're what?
They're fearless.
Yeah, totally.
You really see a fearlessness.
Totally.
You know.
And they're manipulative.
But there's a lot of preparation involved for that fear. And
I found
reps too, right? I
found with comedy and being treated with for mental illness, it's hand in hand.
Right.
Therapy.
Yeah.
See, what a lot of comedians are doing, they're using the audience as their therapist.
Yeah.
They're bouncing questions off the audience.
Yeah.
And the audience reacts to it, reacts to how silly you are, how stupid you are,
Yeah.
how clever you are, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you bare your soul to the audience. And here's the thing about bombing. A lot of people mistake entertaining is that you get a joke to tell and the joke goes over because it's constructed, you
Right.
know, it's meant for people
Right.
to listen and then to laugh.
Right.
Well,
There's like a premise, a setup,
Yeah.
and a punchline.
Yeah, to create that, here's what I learned is that there is a force, the spiritual force that directs artists.
Yeah.
And the more you can relax, and see, when you relax into that force, you're relaxing into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the people that are, governed by what other people think, they're the ones that are afraid to bomb and afraid to do everything.
But you're not governed by them, but you do, because I've heard this from you many times, where you and Cheech, you're in a different part of the world or a different part of the country, and your act that was killing in LA or Southern California is not going over well, and you had a conversation and you probably have it with yourself sometimes. Man, this material is not working. Like, we got to figure out something that works here. And I think that's when the muse kind of kicks in or doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't, and it's okay, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the thing is, yeah, I guess a comedy club owner would know this more than anything, is that, if a comic bombs, it's not like they don't ever get to work again, right? Like it's not, it's like a baseball player having a strikeout. It's part
Babe Ruth held the strikeout record.
It's part of the game, and I think persistence, right? If you want to be a comic, just keep getting on stage.
Well, you have to.
Right.
You get addicted. You get addicted
Yeah.
to that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You see, it's the same feeling. When they say you died up there, Well, it's the same thing. If you want the same feeling of adrenaline, is stand on the edge of a 5-story building and just look over the edge, and you'll get the same adrenaline rush.
Right.
Because your body thinks it's going to there's going to be a lot of pain coming, and so your body gets filled with adrenaline, which is painkillers.
Yeah.
And so that's the high you get.
Yeah. Kamendi. Kamendi's question is, I'm trying to quit smoking or smoke less weed. But when I do, I lose control of my anger and emotions. I bet it's something normal. Haha. But how can I get myself to keep going forward without weed? So do you understand that one?
Yeah,
So
yeah, totally. What you need is some crackpot religion to get involved in, you know, because that's what you're doing. It's a mind trip.
So this person gets cranky and grumpy.
Yeah. So
maybe why do you want? Okay, well, you got to ask yourself, why do you want to smoke less weed?
Well, obviously he's not working out.
Right.
A gym. See,
Right.
if you work out in a gym, see what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
tearing your body down.
Well, I think you're right. Like, so maybe weed was the stress relief. Maybe this person's under a lot of stress, right? And weed was their way to loosen up. And now they take that away. Well, you got to replace it with something. And what do you replace it with?
Exercise.
I love that.
Exercise.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good, wise words. Cormac, what was it like the first time you got high?
Oh, I remember.
I know we talked about this.
Well, he hasn't heard.
No, we talked about this. We heard.
Which one? The only one I have.
You got given a
Lenny Bruce record
Lenny Bruce record and a joint.
at the same time.
Okay, well, that was the first time you got high. Now, what was your perception of cannabis before that moment?
I was kind of afraid of it, you know.
So you knew about it.
Oh yeah, I mean it was
Well,
all over.
it was like the
Reefer Madness.
Reefer
It
Madness.
was crazy.
So you knew about it, and you kind of, I mean, you hear all this crazy
I'm
shit.
confronted with it. Now I heard about it. Now the guy hands me.
But you had a little bit of fear before because all that propaganda.
Yeah, well, he handed me the joint in the Lenny Bruce record. I put the joint in my pocket, and then he lit up his joint, and I couldn't refuse it, you know. And so I got high for the first time, and I've never looked back.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful high. It was a gorgeous high,
Yeah.
you know, and I'll always remember it.
Okay, Patricia, what was your favorite dance song on Dancing with the Stars?
I guess it had to be the tango. When I did the tango, because
It wasn't "Drop It Like It's Hot." Drop it like it's hot.
Oh,
That was
the first one.
the funnest one.
That was the first one.
yeah. That blew me away.
That was
man.
Snoop Dogg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Snoop Dogg song. Yeah, that was great. That had to be the
Yeah.
favorite one. Yeah.
That's when people were like, "Whoa, man, he came to play."
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, from your experience, how do you consistently smoke while being healthy enough to live a fairly long life?
Again, working out, you know, exercise, weightlifting, bodybuilding. you
Yeah.
know.
Well, you always told me this. If you're gonna party, you gotta train hard
Yeah.
to party.
You got to be in shape. You got to be in shape to party.
A lot of people don't know this, like about professionally. I was watching the Johnny Manziel documentary.
Oh yeah.
You know, Johnny Football,
Yep.
the
Coach?
the Heisman Trophy winner.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, you know, it talks about how, like one of his friends says, you know, people have this picture of athletes, professional athletes and college athletes, like, you know, all they do is devote all their time to being the most precision athlete, like with their diet and with their skills training and strength training and all that. And in reality, a lot of these guys are so gifted that they don't do any of that shit, and they just go out there and win and kick everyone's ass, and they party. I mean, back in the old days, like the athletes were smoking cigarettes and boozing, and now like it comes out like a lot of NFL players would drink booze during the game.
Sure.
You know, so
That's a painful game. That hurts.
yeah.
Just getting down in the 3 stands.
Yeah.
That hurts.
But the main thing is that they're moving. They're moving so they can afford to party hard.
Yeah.
It will catch up to you. But for weed, like
no, it prolongs.
yeah, no, weed prolongs for sure.